I want to talk about the 100 days to exceptional personal challenge that I gave myself. There are a few days left in the challenge, actually less than a week. And I thought this would be an ideal time to kind of talk about what this experience has been like for me. What have I learned in this time frame? Number one, I really feel that I've developed this habit of talking um, in audio form on a regular basis. Like it is etched into my being. And I'm actually going to turn that into something else. And I'll tell you a little more about it in a few days. So, I don't know if you remember, but if you go back to my earlier broadcast, I talked about one of the things that I wanted to do every day for 100 days was my daily walk. And that was something I was doing on a regular basis, 4, 5 times a week, probably about every day actually. But I wasn't doing it twice a day. It wasn't like top of mind. I was okay if I missed things of that nature. So I made an intention, I set an intention to do it every day for the 100 days. And then I ended up doing it twice a day. So I walked the lap 2 times in one setting, and I started doing that twice. So twice a day, I walk it 2 times in one setting. And that would give me about 3 miles of walking, 4 miles of walking. Unfortunately, I also was jumping rope, and I would jump rope in my home. And I lightly injured my foot, but I kept walking. I kept walking on it for months. I could feel, a little pressure on it, a little uncomfortableness when I would first start walking, and then it would, die down. And then I might feel it again towards the end of my walk. But after about ooh, a couple months in, I realized that I needed to rest my foot. And so I stopped my walk for a little over 3 weeks. I just started gradually doing it again recently just to see how my foot was feeling because it was no longer bothering me, just in general. And so I was a little disappointed with that, but it was something that I needed to do. And what I want to speak to as that is related is there are things that are going to be challenging. It may cause us a little discomfort, and we continue to do it. And I am a stickler for having that level of resilience. But I also know that a part of the value that we place on ourselves is how we take care of ourselves, how we're willing to move some things aside, even for a moment, so that we are stronger. And so I ask you today, what is the thing that you've been doing consistently that may be consuming for you? It may be causing you a level of resentment that you've been ignoring, you've just been pushing through without addressing it. I want you to think about that and, yeah, just consider, is there a way that I can reevaluate this thing that I've been doing or how I'm doing it so that my foundation is stronger? The second thing that, really stood out to me was the importance of support. And what I mean is, when I was actually jumping rope in my home, I did not have on the right shoes. I literally took for granted that I'm in the house and whatever, whatever. I have hardwood floors, but still. And it made me think about how important the proper support is. Now, it may not be you, exercising, but it may be the support that you need in your life or in your business. But the proper support makes the way you land and the way you stand completely different. And so, what areas in your business or in your life do you need a different level of support? And I want you to evaluate the fact that, like, I could have just taken a slightly different effort, right, to put on a different shoe, a different sock, during the time, but I would just grab my rope and, start jumping periodically when I thought about it. But the support would have made a tremendous, tremendous difference. Where could you use support in your life? The third thing that I want to talk about is doing something new. So, some of the things that I was incorporating over the 100 days were new. Even me coming on every single day and recording a video. Now, what wasn't new is me coming on social every day. I had like a 4-year stint where I never missed posting. I had about 3 or 4 years where I went live every other day. Almost. No, I'm sorry, that's not correct. Monday, Wednesday, and sometime Friday, right? So 2 to 3 times a week, and I did that for years. So being visible online was not new to me, but recording a video every day, that was new to me. And what I will say is whenever you attempt to do something new, it is important that you set intentions, that you write the vision, that you keep reminders of what it is that you're doing, but even more so that you get ahead of it. And what I mean is, I started out recording about maybe 15 videos prior to them having to be uploaded. And whenever I would go out of town or my routine would change from, my normal routine of working with clients from home, and that normal schedule, whenever my routine would change, I was still ahead of time with my videos. But I noticed that when I got to the point, well, then my next batching, I would stay around 5 videos ahead. There was a time where I got to the point where I was recording it the day before or the day of, and the level of um, concern about whether I would get it done was higher for me. And I'm sharing that because I believe that just regulating your nervous system, planning in advance, strategic planning would make a huge difference for you in your business. And this is why I am a component for having an exit strategy very early when you start a business, and then reverse engineering it and strategizing from that point. I also believe in writing the vision and making it plain ahead of time. I believe in planning your business at the last quarter of the year before the next year comes in for that next year. It's just that space of being ahead of whatever it is you're desiring to do leaves room for life, because life happens. And so many business owners get caught in between what they have to urgently do and what they need to do, and having to pick and choose. And what ends up happening is they are in a sea of confusion and urgency all the time, and actually putting out fires because they weren't prepared. And preparation is so, so powerful. Those are 3 things I wanted to share with you that just stood out for me so far. I still have some days left in the 100 days to exceptional, but it's less than a week. And I thought I would come in and talk about just some of the things that came top of mind that have stood out for me throughout this 100 days. Let me know in the comments, did you do a 100-day challenge on your own, or a 90-day challenge, or a 60-day challenge? If so, I love to hear in the comments how that has worked for you. I'm Tanya Wilson. I'm also known as the growth strategist, business consultant, and mindset coach. I support women just like you to step into their personal power. This 100 days was creating capacity for something greater, and I'm going to share it. It is a space of stepping into my personal power, stretching my capacity. I help you step into your personal power, scale your business, and create lifestyles that you love. Listen, if you haven't joined me for the 3D Brand Masterclass, it is a 4-day experience. If you're transitioning, you're uncertain about who you are as a brand, it's so important. Your brand is not your logo, it's not your website, it's not your pretty pictures. It's how the marketplace sees you. And you get to be intentional about that, especially if you're in transition, you're looking to reach a new market of clients, if you're transitioning your brand to premium, your branding is important. So I want to talk to you about that, and I'll be hosting that masterclass coming up at the top of the year. However, it is open for enrollment now. When you begin, you get the first 3 days of pre work. You get day one, the next day two, the next day three. And then after that, depending on how close we are to the date of the actual live master class, you get the fourth day. That's my take. I will leave that link in the comments. Peace and abundance.